It's Early Smurf, and for this episode we're going to do another horror review. Got some more fun stuff coming. I know I've been doing a lot of them, but the George A. Romero Foundation found a lost copy of this movie he did in 1972 called The Amusement Park. They redefined it and reissued it exclusively to Shudder, so get it if you want to watch it, because this movie's not one to be missed. Okay, so the very beginning of this movie gets right into the core of what's going on. Kind of takes the mold of Frankenstein, where there's a real cryptic explanation of what's about to happen, and the guy they picked to do it, just his voice nails the foreboding in the air. You really want to listen to what he's saying, because his explanation means so much. There's a lot of meaning to this movie. There's a lot that happens. It's only 53 minutes long, but there is so much that happens in this time frame that it'll leave you wondering, it'll leave you pondering the entire night. It really delves deep into the psychosis of the mind. Whether you're getting old, whether you are elderly, or whether you're suffering from mental illness, this is gonna hit you in a way that it was honestly meant to. There's real, and then there's I want to see how real I can really make this. And that's what George Romero did in this movie. Unbelievable what he did with the time he had with it. It was shot in Pittsburgh, normal George Romero style. Westview Park leased their land to him to record, for whatever hours he could, non-operating hours, and, things like that. And he casted people, the elderly people that he casted in the movie. It focuses on one guy, but everyone else kind of just donated their time. It was probably like you got a T-shirt or a signed dollar bill or something. He was known to do that in the past for all his extras, but basically everyone in this movie donated their time as an extra. Some of them came from poverty. They weren't so well off. Others came from an institution. He brought extras in from an adult care center, and that's how real he wanted to make this. The rest was just the public. So excited about a George Romero movie that they just wanted to be a part of it as usual. The guy had... Every time he made a movie, Pittsburgh went wild. Everybody wanted to be a part of it. That's well known that in that era he was making movies. If you were in Pittsburgh, that was a goal. If you lived in that immediate area, was to be part of a George Romero movie. Never seen one again. But anyways, now that's how you leave a mark as a director. That's how you get remembered. Nailed it every time. Such a memorable director. My favorite director of all time. And for a very good reason. He's so aware of everything that's currently going on that he puts in his movies, and when you look at this, there's very strong tones, not even undertones, just very strong tones of what it's like to live on disability or to live as an elderly person. You donate, you get tickets by turning in time, basically, and no time is good enough. All your prized possessions are worth maybe 5 tickets. A real strong sentiment on getting your priorities straight as an elderly person before you go. No one, unless you've been through the situation, realizes whether you've lost a parent or something, especially in their older years, like a grandparent, anything like that. You don't see what goes on behind the scenes with them. And a lot of this movie explains that, it's not an amusement park. It's life he's trying to survive. Instead of, ice cream stands and Ferris wheels, everything in this theme park has something to do with real life. There's a scene, a bumper car scene, where you can feel the energy of what's going on. I won't explain it to you because I don't do spoilers, but when it happens, you feel the emotion. You feel what's going on. You feel for the people involved. That goes on through the entire movie, though. It's heartbreaking, to be honest. It was a heartbreaking movie. Not only because you feel for the character, but because you kind of feel for yourself if you live like this. And I live like this. There's a reason I'm afraid to leave my house, and it's because of things like this. Things this movie portrays, like the loudness of everything around you. This movie did things in such a way where the audio and vocalization was fine, but George Romero picked certain parts of what was going on and just amped up the volume to 600, just to drive you insane. From ticking clocks to roller coaster wheels hitting the track, just to show you the insanity of what goes on in someone's mind when they're in basic fear. You tune into different sounds. You become more in tune with yourself. That's real anxiety. I don't know what a lot of these other people talk about, but that's anxiety. But it's also real life, constantly giving everything for a few tickets to ride. That's the chaos of it. And it was nailed in this movie. It's not... I wouldn't even call it a horror movie. It kind of is. Just because of, the surreal creepiness and the morbidness of it. It definitely falls into the genre. But it was George Romero doing George Romero's things. Besides the zombie movies, the guy was an excellent director. Plain and simple. He could nail it all. But he really delved into the mind on this one. From the very beginning, you see a clean-cut man talking to himself as he's dirty and disheveled. And a dirty and disheveled man tells him there's nothing outside you'd like. Plain and simple. It's a warning to himself. It's like living with that other ear that tells you not to do things. But in this case, it was proved to be right. Because there's so many symbolisms in so many different ways. There's a biker gang that represents, the society beating you down. There's men selling you retirement plans, but your retirement plan is a fucking casket. Because that's what you're really saving for in the end. There's a scene that really, it's gut-wrenching. You realize how much young people like light up the elderly's eyes, and how little time they get to spend with them, or how respected it is. It got really deep constantly from the moment it starts. It makes you think the entire time. Life is beating this guy down to no fucking end, and life is everything from just growing up as someone from the silent generation. Because the movie was made in 1972, and obviously this guy was part of the silent generation, or the generation before we even started naming them, because we're stupid. We really forgot the context of things like what boomer means or what millennial means, and this movie is a fresh reminder of what it meant back then. People weren't orderly. They were loud and chaotic, and everything was going wrong, and that's what this was trying to prove. Nothing was different in the 70s than it is now, except, we can go to the same schools and share a water fountain. I say we made... Never mind. Anyways, it really speaks on that because, I don't think we don't really get the gist of what the word boomer means. We don't even relate that generation right. Boomers are like well in their 70s at this point, basically, at least 60s, 70s. You're talking to the wrong people and calling them the wrong name. Why don't you just call them Generation X like they are? They never want to take it. Okay, we're talking about the movie again. Just a beautiful piece. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I saw Season of the Witch. I saw Martin. I saw The Crazies. And they were all kind of original, but they didn't hit me quite like this did. 53 minutes of deep thought is insane, especially for a horror movie. But it's not like it makes you think, but it makes you think. You don't have to think, but it makes you think. It's not hard to understand, but when you understand it, you're gonna get that whirlwind of, holy fuck, we need to change. We need to start respecting people, because in the end, that's what it is. Getting old is scary. Not understanding the things around you is terrifying, especially when your mind is going. Not everyone thinks the same. It's not like generations have never gotten along, and this is kind of just what that's saying is. To me, we're just in it. As usual, we're just going through the motions. We're just taking it too far. We have the power of social media now, so our voice can reach the entire world just from a hashtag. Do something better with it. Instead of arguing, do something to change, to help people. That's what this movie makes me think. It really deep. Not scary at all, like I said, except for if you're afraid of reality. I'm afraid of reality. It was very, very foreboding to me. Even if you aren't. The scenario, the way it's even shot is just... It creeps in on you. It makes you a mess. Even if you aren't a mess, it shows you the chaos and makes you feel it. It really hits hard. I'm glad they found this. I am glad they redefined it, and I am really glad they re-released it. I'm glad I got the chance to see it, because it was honestly a big thinker. There's not even much dialogue here. It's just flashes of things that just scream reality. Like, the tones are so upfront. There's no hiding anything about how he feels or what he's trying to do. They even tell you that in the beginning and the end of the movie. They're teaching you a fucking lesson here. There's several shots that really stick with me, but like the way they portrayed death, you'll see it and you'll probably never forget it, because the way they portrayed the image of the Grim Reaper, terrifying. And he's only in the movie for like 0.5 seconds, but that's how real it was. It was not like he did anything scary. He was just there for a split second, moving, powerful. That's how you make an impact. That's how you say what you're trying to say. Okay, so now talked about it a lot. I guess I can rate it now. I'm gonna go with, I don't even have to think too hard about it. I'm gonna give it a 9.7. That's how hard it hit me. You know, you may think I'm being partial because it's George Romero, but I'm not. Because I don't even really like his other movies outside of zombies too much. They're great, but not enough for me to like go crazy over it. This really hit me. I love amusement parks. I love the idea of amusement parks. See, haunted house shirt, you know, it's small town life. It's what is the spook house but life? That's what it says, you know. In the end, that's what it is. So 9.7. Loved it. I'll probably watch it again multiple times. This is Surly signing out. See you on the flip side. Bye. Get out.